Brawl in the family? More like peace in the family. Oh my god, this episode from the Loud House sucks. Here are the reasons why I hate this episode in my opinion. The episode starts when Lincoln enters the living room, and is surprised to see that it is empty. He then walks towards the kitchen, only to find Luna guarding the entrance. She tells him that Lori is in the kitchen cooling off after a fight she had with Leanie, and won't let him in. Lincoln insists on going in, as he's hungry, but Lisa tells him that she found something under the sofa cushions. She hands him a bagel, but as Lincoln takes a bite of it, she informs him that it is covered in lint, dog hair, and a booger. He runs upstairs, only to find Lana guarding the bathroom. She tells him that Leanie is in the bathroom cooling off, and that he can use a bucket to throw up in, which he reluctantly agrees to. Later on, he wants to watch a monster truck rally on TV, but Lynn, Lucy, and Lola won't let him, as it would only provoke Lori and Leanie. Lincoln asks what their fight is about, and they finally tell him why. Yesterday, they both bought the same dress, and are angry at each other when one refuses to return theirs. Lincoln is flabbergasted at the two of them fighting over such a petty thing, but his sisters tell him that it's a sister thing, for which they have a sister protocol, meaning that he should stay out of it, so they can resolve it on their own. Lincoln can no longer stand what Lori and Leanie's fighting is causing, so he decides to try and help them make peace with each other. He goes into their room, only for them to be sitting there perfectly fine, and they both try to tell him that he doesn't need to try and help them resolve it, as it's already been resolved. Unfortunately, he doesn't listen, and causes them to fight again when he reveals what they both say about each other behind their backs. This makes Lori and Leanie even angrier at each other, resulting in making the fight even worse. Lisa, saying that the threat has increased, commands the other sisters to get themselves ready, with Lola telling Lincoln to let them handle it. Later on, Lincoln's room is being used to allow either Lori or Leanie to temporarily house them, while the other passes by the upstairs hall. At dinner, Rita and Lynn Sr., who are revealed to follow the protocol, says that they have dinner with Lori and Leanie separately, so that way, they won't appear to be taking sides. Things get even worse when Lincoln's bedsheets and blankets are gone, so that they can be used as a wall to divide in between Lori and Leanie. Lincoln tries to help settle this again, which only worries the other sisters, and they try to tell him to just allow sister fight protocol to settle this. But Lincoln, fed up with the protocol, insists that Leanie sleep in Luna and Luan's room, while Luna sleeps in Lori and Leanie's room for the night. They agree to this, but the other sisters, including Lily, protest against his idea. However, Lincoln insists that this will be sorted out in the morning. The following morning, Lincoln awakens to thinking that everything is back to normal, only to hear Luna and Luan fighting. They both argue over whether it was Lori or Leanie who had the right to be mad at the other, and it leads to them insulting each other. Now the protocol has to be used to separate the two of them, and once again, Lincoln's room is used as a spot to temporarily house one of them. Lisa tells Lincoln that the fight has escalated even worse on her chart, and this causes Lynn Sr. to panic, as he and Rita lock themselves in their room with Lily. They continue with their protocol of keeping the fighting siblings separate from each other, but when Lola and Lana accidentally cross paths with Luna and Luan, this causes them to start fighting as well. Bobby comes by to deliver pizzas to the family, but he delivers one to their parents through their bedroom window, and they advise him to leave the rest on the porch, and run off, as soon as he rings the doorbell. Later on, Lynn is eating pizza, while Lucy chastises her for slacking on the job, and this leads to the two of them also getting into an argument. Lisa is now frightened, as the chart is at the highest level of disaster, and Lana angrily bites into it, which causes Lisa to start fighting as well. At this point, every one of the sisters, except for Lily, are arguing, and Lincoln, realizing the severity of the situation, calls up Clyde, and asks if he can visit, and Clyde accepts. Later on, Lincoln is at Clyde's house, explaining his dilemma, and Clyde is listening to him, as if he were a therapist. Lincoln explains that the sister fight protocol is ridiculous, and only makes everything worse, and says that if they allowed him to help, he would have resolved things. After explaining, Lincoln says that tomorrow morning, he's going back to the house, and attempt to resolve everyone's issues. The following morning, Lincoln returns home to try and fix the problem, but everything is quiet. He opens the front door, and find his sisters sitting peacefully in the living room. They explain that they resolved everything themselves, thanks to him leaving since he wasn't there to butt in, proving that their sister fight protocol works. He finally agrees to this, but, unfortunately, thanks to his honest truth, he reveals more things that the sisters say behind each other's backs, Lynn saying that she can't stand Lisa's spitting when she talks and Lana saying that Lola's snoring bothers her, causing them to fight once again. When Lynn Sr. comes out of his bedroom, thinking it's over, every one of the sisters begin fighting yet again, and this time, Lincoln hides with his parents in their bedroom, to avoid the sisters' brutality. And that's how the episode goes. If you haven't seen it, don't watch it. It's a waste of time. I don't know who likes or hates this show. So I'm gonna leave it be. So screw Brawl and the family. And screw Chore and Peace. L is for love is 73 decillion 737 nonillion 363 octillion 737 septillion 373 sextillion 637 quintillion 737 quadrillion 373 trillion 637 billion 363,635,363 times better than Brawl in the family. End of rant.